In a place where there's a deep sense of fear tonight, there is also growing confusion. Japan's nuclear crisis has the United States warning of something very troubling at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. Extremely high levels of radiation. The Americans are suggesting that spent fuel rods are exposed, could melt down, ignite, lead to a major catastrophe. But the Japanese government says that's not the case. It insists conditions in Fukushima are stable. All this as heroic efforts to avert a meltdown continue. Once again, we have extensive coverage of the day's events from both sides of the Pacific. Starting with Chris Brown, and Chris is in Tokyo again today. Chris.
Peter, with each day, it seems Japan's nuclear crisis lurches further towards a bad ending.
It's come to this. Helicopters loaded with buckets of seawater to dump on the stricken Fukushima reactors. Anything to cool them off. Only it was too dangerous, too radioactive for the pilots, so the plan was cancelled. Water cannons may be next. In the meantime, it's left to unseen, unnamed workers inside to man the hoses. Japanese politicians continue to urge calm, but with a second reactor unit ruptured and another release of radiation, the words felt hollow. So today, a revered voice made a very rare public statement. It was the first time 77-year-old Emperor Akihito ever gave a speech on national TV. He implored Japanese people not to lose hope and to pull together. Dramatic video has emerged from inside the exclusion zone nearest the reactor. A Japanese TV crew drove in and found people who felt they'd been left to die. The mayor of the town denounced Japan's government, saying they weren't even told when the first reactor exploded. Those who didn't or couldn't leave are now hiding behind locked doors. This doctor at the hospital said he felt he had no choice but to remain with his patients. For others, heading into the tsunami zone now feels too dicey.
But we haven't come equipped for radiation type exposure and so on.
These members of a medical assistance team from BC who'd hoped to set up field hospitals turned around and went home.
At this point, it's become too volatile of a situation for us to stay here at this moment.
In Tokyo, 240 kilometers from the reactor, the daily routine continues, though much toned down.
Tokyo's Shibuya shopping district feels a long way from any kind of disaster. It's still really busy, but talk to people and you can feel the sense of resignation about the looming nuclear catastrophe on their doorstep.
To be honest, he says, this is kind of an atomic bomb on how it's affected all aspects of Japanese life. Many are trying to help, such as these 20-somethings asking for donations of batteries to send to those without electricity.
But the enormity of the still unfolding events seem to overwhelm all of the best efforts. Peter.
All right, Chris, thanks very much. Chris Brown in Tokyo.